Everything you do, you're accountable for. There's no safety net, it's just you in the outdoors and it challenges you.
Dude, look at these mountains. Insane, man. Absolutely beautiful.
We're gonna have to manage our desire as skiers, and that's the hardest part. This is the touchiest snowpack I've been in years. Reality is right now, it's off the table. We can't go ski anything of consequence.
Woke up this morning and definitely, first day started, but we're gonna get out there and do some more training today. A little bit of worry about some of the weather conditions. We're having perhaps some really bad visibility. We got our guide over here.
How'd you guys do? Hey, good morning.
Doing good.
How'd you sleep last night?
Oh, like a champ, dog boss.
Right on.
But yeah, so hoping for the best, get some great learning experiences in, and then come back tonight and debrief. So that's the plan.
Through that conversation, I kind of got to understand what we were up against. And that healthy fear, I'll call it, only grew as we practiced trying to rescue people and seeing the force of nature around us. I was embracing this culture of humility and the desire from everyone, and especially from the guides, to make the best decisions to keep us safe.
It was also a little bit of a bummer because I definitely knew that skiing steep stuff was out of the picture, but I ended up not even missing it at all when we were out there.
I think what gets me amped about the outdoors is the simpleness that you can find in nature. Being out there in the wilderness allows me to kind of get into my thoughts a little bit, and I think by stepping out of my comfort zone and being in that kind of a situation, I was able to really reflect on a lot of things.
Anytime you go on an adventure, self-awareness is key, because no matter how experienced you are, you're still susceptible to the human factors. And so we like to use the acronym FACETS to try and keep those in check.
I was really glad we had the guys with us that we did. It was the first time I'd worked with them, but I knew them well enough to know that they would know their stuff well. I knew also that they were faced with a huge task because they had new terrain they had never skied in, and they had a large group of people, and we had these extreme avalanche conditions.
I love the OSB culture. Is everybody that I'm around oriented? Are they safe? Are they valued? Standing on top of the nublet, and I was with my friends that I'd gotten to know over the trip. I was just soaking it in. As I was thinking about coming down, I got really uncomfortable because I knew that my group was full of strong skiers and snowboarders, and I felt a little bit like the weak link. And I actually was like talking to Doug, and I'm like, hey, I just want you to know I'm nervous about this. I'm nervous about coming down. He's like, okay, well, that's okay. Just take your time, but you do need to get down. And so I'm like, okay, and I skied down, and it actually ended up being really, really fun. But it definitely pushed me too.
I like the homework part of an adventure and trying to really get a clear picture of what we're getting into before we get there. And I definitely had to reset my expectations for how much descending we were going to get. And then we get out there and those things can't happen or won't happen. Not knowing the terrain or the exact conditions, I felt like we were flying a little bit blind and having to put a lot of trust in our guides and their knowledge.
I'm not the greatest skier, but I wanted to try something new. Going into this trip, I really had no idea what backcountry skiing even entailed, and so I was just putting full trust in the experts and in the guides and in the people that knew what they were doing.
Whenever I lead, like when I'm trying to have leader of the day and I hire other guides to come in, and it requires me to step back. It takes a lot of humility, because that's the hard thing for me, is to get out of the way and let other people do their job well or well enough, you know, and I realize that they're learning and to mentor people.
There is something about the freedom of just ripping it down a mountain.
This has been the only time I've been able to be in these environments, and probably will be for quite a while. And so it prompted me to try and take advantage of every skiing opportunity I could. That pushed some of my own physical boundaries. From day one, I was out of my comfort zone. I got further and further out the more we went into it.
I've never skied in a situation where if you go too far right, that's it.
Everybody stop. Stop talking, stop moving. There's no more transceiver signals. We've probed all the clues. We've got to do a probe line. And they don't have gear. And the only way you can find them is with surface clues, maybe, or a probe line. You got to hold it together. And that's hard because everyone's trying. And I watched everyone like, God, there's something we're missing. What are we missing? You weren't missing anything. This just sucks. But it's supposed to be hard and frustrating so that you get it.
Being able to acknowledge your own weaknesses, being committed to the situation, and also being wary of things you don't know about, and openly admitting the things you don't know, because the idea that I know everything is probably the biggest mistake you can make in any situation.
Having a culture where it's safe to disagree and you know you have a voice and you're valued, it helps you deal with those human factors and helps them get out on the table.
I want others around me to feel oriented, safe, and valued, and I can see what good things that does on a ski trip, and I want to take that into my own life and see the benefits there as well.
I think it just reminded me that life is a lot more fun if you're always trying new things, and to be able to expand your knowledge on other parts of life that you would never have the opportunity otherwise to do.
When we were out there, just learning how to be able to be in the situation so that you knew exactly what you had to do to be able to make sure that your friends and the group of people you were with were safe. And learning all those like preventative measures, I think just adds to like my wilderness toolbox that allows me to enjoy the outdoors and be safe in doing it.
There's something exciting about pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. Ultimately, it comes down to humility. Just being in that kind of environment with the mountains surrounding us, you can see just how powerful it is, and recognizing that nature is not a force to be reckoned with.
To be able to grow and obtain new skills and share it with other people is so special. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to the next adventure.